I am a write-in candidate, which means I will not appear on the ballot. The reason I chose to be a write-in is because I initially had not intended to run this year. I recently retired from 31 years in education and had every intention to let the dust settle a little bit before I was going to seek new ways to give back to the community. Then in mid-February, I saw that there were 2 candidates running for 3 vacant seats, and I felt compelled to throw my hat in the ring. I think that this is a very important election and with some very consequential issues and decisions facing the board. And I thought the time is now, the handwriting's on the wall, jump right in. I think the school closings and consolidation is on everybody's mind right now, as well as declining enrollment and the financial issues that the district face. So I decided, again, in mid-February when I saw the need, I thought, this is the time for me to bring my experience and my talents to the board to hopefully help resolve and move forward some of those projects and problems and fix what we can fix. I think collectively as a community with community input, we need to continue to right-size the district. I think by doing so, we will then get our fiscal house in order, which will allow us to better recruit and retain high-quality education staff and continue the high-quality services and programs that we have. Additionally, I think we need to step up our efforts to reverse the outward migration of families and students from the district. And I think part of that is by working with our community planning partners as they seek ways to increase the amount of affordable single-family housing in the city. Well, when it comes to referendums, I think I, like the rest of the community who is very incredibly supportive of public education, wants to support that referendum. But what I think needs to happen is I'd like us all to be able to see a more clearly articulated, bigger picture and how this or any future referendum fits into that goal of heading toward that vision. I think we need to have a vision that's clearly articulated, and every decision we make should be heading us toward that. So I think if we can get that together, I think, yes, I think I absolutely could, and I hope I can, because I hope the city can, because I think the goal is pure, that we want to right-size the district and move forward. But again, I would like to see that bigger picture vision and know that we're heading towards something, instead of feeling like I think a lot of the community does, as I feel like we have Band-Aid fatigue, and I think that's what I would like to be a part of helping change and be able to have more articulate, where are we going, how does this fit in? I think that's what's important. Well, I think that, again, like to my point that we have a very supportive educational community in the city. And I think people are reasonable in La Crosse. I think they understand that we need to make some changes in order to get the fiscal house in order. And that likely is going to be some closings and some consolidations. Now, given that, we do need to be very transparent. We do need to include all of the educational stakeholders and collect as much input as we can. And to that transparency issue that I know a lot of people feel that things aren't transparent, I think we need to shift our paradigm when we hear those comments. Instead of getting defensive about it, I want to ask, well, what is it that you mean? Tell me where it is you'd like to see this information, and how are you looking for this information? Let's find ways to get you what you need in order to get behind us and help this be a successful referendum. Just that one of the last things I'd ever want to see is any cuts to frontline program staff, teachers and support staff, and services and programs, because I really believe that those are the quality elements that are going to not only retain the students and families we have in the district, but bring in new. And so that's absolutely not on my radar. That's the last thing we need to do, and we need to get more creative on how we can streamline other things, and work together to think outside the box and work on solving those problems without diminishing our world-class education, which I believe we have here and can enhance. I think that we need to work with all educational stakeholders to ensure that our schools are the safest and most secure possible. Every student and staff deserves a safe learning environment. I recently read, and we need to do everything we can to ensure that tragedy never happens in our community. 357,000 students have been impacted and survived a school shooting since the Columbine massacre in 1999. 357,000. Talk about trauma-inducing situations. That's just unconscionable to me. And I really believe we need to work together to assess our level of safety and security with all of the educators and parents and community input, and address any shortcomings that we may have, because again, the last thing I want is tragedy to happen here. I would say three things raise me to the top in my mind. One is my experience. I have 31 years experience in education, with 27 of them right here in the Cooley region. I've been a teacher supervisor, a mentor, a department chair, and on more committees than I can count. So I've been very involved in during those 31 years in education. The second thing would be my proven record of collaboration with all of the stakeholders of a child's education. As a special education teacher, I led multidisciplinary teams that included parents, families, doctors, administrators, teachers, social workers, counselors, mental health professionals. So I've got the experience of working together with a wide variety of people to collaborate and solve problems. So that would be number two. And number three, my ability to see the big picture and think creatively and solve problems that way. I think if you check out my Facebook page at Kevin Lee for La Crosse School Board, you can get an idea of what I'm talking about when I say creative. Just that I'm really proud of the fact that I have been able to run a bipartisan campaign that's been very grassroots, very cash poor, very low key, and very word of mouth. And the fact that I'm getting as much of attention as I am, that makes me feel good about what the community is looking for. And I'm hoping that that's me.